Welcome back to another episode of Sports Fans Only. C. Anthony and Sean Mack. Today we're going to be breaking down and discussing the David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight that took place in Vegas last Saturday. So let's get straight to it. I'll ask you a question, C. What were your thoughts on that overall fight?
Overall, I feel like Benavidez, I feel like he's not the Mexican monster. I feel like he's the Mexican monster in the making. Take nothing away from him. He showed a lot of skill and a low output compared to what he usually does, but he did a great job still in all. Can't take that victory away from him.
I feel the same thing. We do a lot of work on Benavidez. The only way I know about David Benavidez, because I'm an avid boxing fan, but it's through you. You told me that he was nice. And I have to say, if that was my first time seeing him and I heard all the hype about him, I would probably be a little disappointed, maybe the first 6 rounds. But he was a little confused, seemed like he didn't know what to do, or he was just waiting for Plant to tire out. All right, next question would be the last 2 fights that we seen Caleb Plant lose seemed like he tired out. So by natural instinct, to me, it seemed like he might have a conditioning problem. Do you think Caleb Plant actually has a conditioning problem? And is that something that he can work on, and that's just what God gave him? He gave him hands, he gave him nice skills, a good left hook, but he just have problems with conditioning. Does he have a conditioning problem?
You know what? The last 2 fights, I would say, seems like it, because after the 6th round, totally different fighter. Versus Canelo, to me, seemed like in the first 6 rounds, he gave Canelo trouble. It was a little bit, it wasn't so easy for Canelo to put hands on him. 7, 8, 9 rounds seemed like he became a little bit more stationary, a little bit easier to hit. Same thing with the Benavidez fight. I would say maybe the first 6 rounds, I gave it 4-2. Caleb Plant looked like his energy level was a little bit higher. And like I said, it seemed like David couldn't get hands on him. But as the 7, 8, 9 round came, seems like he kind of figured out that puzzle a little bit, put hands on him. But I would say, in my opinion, it seemed like it is due to Caleb's conditioning. Looks like that's something I think he can work on. I think he's a soldier, a warrior. I think that'll be he'll be back in the lab working on that. Not sure how good it'll get, but I'm sure he see what his deficiency is, and we would all agree stamina conditioning problem.
All right, it's something I wasn't thinking about, but how can you increase stamina? Like more road work, more exercising, which I'm pretty sure he's doing. I have seen pulled a lot of footage of him running up mountains in Las Vegas. What more can he do?
Well, there is a point where we all tap out just the God-given ability. I would say on his end for now, speaking for now, I think he could increase the road work. I think he could maybe a higher level of sparring with a higher level competition, somebody who might have an offensive output of a Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez, Benavidez. I think you need an A-level sparring. Maybe he's tapped out with his sparring, and he's overgrown those guys. Maybe just step up in the sparring department. Definitely more road work, and at least identify the problem. I want to hear Breadman. Breadman is good in the corner. I'm sure that's what he sees. And he did change some things around, but I'm sure that's what they'll be working on. But every man we tap out at some point. Everybody can't be A-level conditioning. Everybody can't be Floyd. Everybody can't be Ryan. And I think they'll go back to the drawing board, and that'll be the number one thing that's addressed. Not sure how far to go, but I'm sure he can increase it.
Gotcha. I was thinking the same thing. Sometimes you just tap out at your God-given ability, and there's nothing more you can do to work on it. Speaking of Breadman, you say he's a good trainer, he's a good corner man, but one thing I noticed, and you mentioned it while we was watching the fight, why didn't he see David Benavidez crouching down and being open for that left uppercut?
That's something I wish they could have addressed more. I feel like the uppercut, just counterpunching in general, I feel like something they could have worked on. Maybe they were a little bit too worried about moving around, not getting hit, rather than putting out the offense. I can't answer that question. Breadman, I give him a lot of respect. Everybody, not many people's going to say much bad about Breadman. And people are already talking about how he's changed Caleb. Caleb sits down a little bit more on his punches, as we saw versus Andy Durrell. So maybe they addressed it and Caleb wasn't able to utilize it, or maybe they just didn't address it enough. Maybe they didn't visualize how much David Benavidez will be lunging in like that. But I feel that's something that need to be addressed. I would say versus Canelo, that's something that Benavidez is going to have to worry about. He's going to have to worry about that return fire. Canelo, excellent all around counter puncher and great with the uppercut. That's
Yeah.
something I wish Caleb would have had. If he had the uppercut, I feel it could have been a different fight. I think the fight was different. You know, in my honest opinion, I give it an 8-4. I think it could have been a little bit closer with better counter punching. And to be specific, that right uppercut, I feel like that was the punch. The right uppercut could have landed anywhere from the chest area up to the chin. I feel like that would have kind of stopped David in his tracks and made him reset again and start over again with his offense. So not sure why it wasn't addressed, and we didn't see the output of that, but I'm sure that's something they'll be working on in the future with him to come.
Yeah, that's what confused me a little bit because we've been watching boxing a lot, and I have to say, Caleb Plant first 6 rounds, say first 5 rounds, and then the last 6 rounds to 7 rounds, it's two totally different people. I've never
Yes.
seen it, and it's not like he was coming out there putting out so much of an output where it would tire him down. Seemed like he just naturally tired down. And soon as Benavidez seen that, he went to work. He was like, okay, it's go time. It's go time. Okay, another question. I know we on plan a lot, but David's moving on. So we might have seen the last of Plant or the best of Plant so far in his career. But should referee Kenny Bayless have warned Plant about the excessive holding or maybe even taking a point away? What you think? Because the commentators and everyone that was at the announcers were all just overwhelmed and overblown that he's warning David Benavidez, but he's not telling Caleb Plant about holding. We all grew up with your not your Floyd do it, and you had Evander Holyfield do it. That's the two I can think of off the top of my head that they punch. If nothing there, they hold. Also, if they in the exchange and that person punch and they may be getting the best of them for that exchange, they hold. Isn't that a part of boxing? Do you think it was excessive? And should Kenny Bayless have warned him or at least taken a point away from Caleb Plant?
Well, I love Kenny Bayless. A lot of respect. But I'd have to say, after watching that fight 4 times, I would say you're damn right. I feel like he maybe shouldn't have got his win as far as taking a point. I think he should have been warned more. I think we all saw it. Caleb Plant did that was his thing. You can see that was a part of the strategy, but I do feel it was overutilized. I feel like he I would have to say if I put myself in his footsteps in his shoes, I would have been doing the same thing. Not I would have tried to do whatever it takes to keep the Mexican monster off of me, but I would have expect some kind of something to come back my way. Maybe if like I said, if not a point deduction, I would expect to maybe be warned a little bit more and maybe let David work a little bit more. I really feel like without Kenny Bayless allowing what we saw, I really feel deep down, no matter how much or who a fan I am, I feel like maybe we'd have got like a 10-round stoppage if it wouldn't have been allowing Caleb Plant to hold so much. I'm glad that we didn't see a knockout. I like both the guys, but just being honest, being all I am is a fan of the sport of boxing, I would say I would have expected a little bit more from Kenny Bayless, a little bit more warning, and a little bit more quicker to break it up and maybe let David work a little bit more. I would say that Kenny Bayless having that ref, it definitely like I said, it gave Caleb Plant a little bit better outlook because maybe another ref would have deducted a point, made him work a little bit harder, or maybe they just would have been breaking a little bit quicker, and maybe we would have seen the knockout. So I would say Kenny Bayless a little bit disappointed, not just me, just everybody in the sport. A veteran official like that, we'd expect to see a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's boxing. We never know what's going to happen on a certain night.
Yeah, I agree. After rewatching the fight, I didn't watch the whole fight again, but I watched the highlights just to see. Fight night's so hype. Your mind get warped, and then the next day, like you say, you look at things and you're looking at it from a different perspective because it moves a little bit slower to you, right? And I have to say, the 10th round, if he didn't let Caleb Plant hold Benavidez that much, he would have knocked him out. He would have knocked him out for sure. And that's
I think
100%,
so.
right? I think so too. All right, enough of Caleb Plant. And we wish him the best. Moving on, you definitely check out more from his career as he goes up or go down in weight or whatever from C. Anthony with boxing and everything. But moving on to the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. He's the shining kid right now. He's the star. So my question would be, where should he go from here? Meaning, who should he fight next? And what should he do as far as promoting himself to be a bigger and better celebrity? Can he only do that by winning? So my question is, where does he go from here, and who should he fight next?
Right now, I would say sky's the limit. I would say right now he's doing it the way I would do it if I was a boxer. You know, he had been calling out Plant for 5 years. They've been going back and forth talking shit. He's been talking a lot of trash to Canelo for 3 to 5 years. Also, he's also called out Charlo. So I don't think there's much more he could do on his point. I mean, I remember him chubby, out of weight, not missing weight in a couple of things. I think he missed weight in a couple of matches. I would say you look at him now, the guy has abs. He's ready, new hairstyle. I think he's ready for everybody. I think he wants Canelo. He would have took Canelo before Caleb Plant. I think he had to take Plant. We also see what Canelo is doing. He's taking on Giant Ryder. Off the top of my head, I think Giant Ryder has lost definitely 4, maybe 5 fights. So I would say Canelo is doing just smart business, trying to get a payday, as he like to say, trying to get a payday, not going for the top competition. I would say as of right now, Benavidez probably wants, I would say he wants Canelo a lot more than Canelo wants him. But at the end of the day, I don't see Canelo running. I think they will clash at some point. But I think he's doing a great job, especially with his father. His father promotes both of his sons very, very well. But I think he's doing the right things. He's been talking trash to Charlo. He wanted Plant for years. He wants Canelo. I don't think there's much more he can do, but just keep following this path. I mean, pull up pictures from years ago, look at him now. You can see the hard work. It just shows in the mirror. It shows there's not much I can say about Benavidez. I will say at this point, if they fought in 2023, I am giving the edge to Canelo, but the hungerness of Benavidez, I say that makes for an excellent fight.
Yeah, I see them maybe both fighting, one person in between. So to me, it seemed like that fight is more destined for next year Cinco de Mayo. That's just my opinion, But so you think he should fight? So you think he really should fight Canelo next? You think Canelo gonna take that fight?
I'm gonna say no. I'm
Me
gonna say
too.
Canelo would do what you said. I'm gonna say that Canelo would probably take another fight around September-ish. And maybe Benavidez would take another one. I would say Benavidez would want it this year. But if I'm Canelo, I rule the division. I would try to have it my way. I would try to get this Giant Ryder payday, be successful. I try to have another fight this year and be successful. Then next year I destroy it all on the line. I will come after Benavidez and I will come after Charlo. Charlo, call him he don't call him Benavidez, he called him Bitchinidez. He was like, so I watched this morning, he's talking to trash. He wants to fight.
He don't
He's
fight
saying he
enough to
wants to
be
fight.
calling people shit. He don't fight enough to be calling people stuff.
He's saying the right things, but I don't see him stepping the right way. But still in all, when the camera's on, Charlo, I love the guy from Louisiana. That's why I got love for the guys, Louisiana on the come up. Definitely. We got the Charlo brothers. We got Poirier from the UFC. We have John Jones rival, Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
So we got the guys from Louisiana, so I'm a fan. But at the end of the day, I like to see him show, improve, and step up and fight Benavidez, fight Charlo. I mean, not fight Benavidez, fight Canelo. But at the end, I think it'll go like you said. I think Canelo will get another payday in because he's going to get a big fat check no matter who he fights. He can fight me or you and get the same money. So for him, it might not be a smart idea to run into it. But at the end of the day, that's going to be the new Mexican standard. It's going to be what Canelo did or what Benavidez is going to do. Benavidez is hungry. 26 fights, I believe it's, I think it's 27 fights now, 24 knockouts. So you can't take much away from him. I think he's the face of the 168 division for right now.
Yeah.
And if Canelo can get past him, I think we all going to have to probably just shut up and give the man his props. Seems like everybody's always pulling on Canelo, want him to fight exactly who he want to fight, even though it's a business.
Yeah.
So I would say Canelo may be doing the right thing, but when he steps in with Benavidez, better get a knockout. Or if not, the future is the Mexican monster.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, we ain't gonna keep people too long. Let's do like 5 more minutes. So, Caleb Plant, we don't know where he's going from here, but just a quick question: should he move down to 168? maybe take on the Charlos, or should he stay at 175? Because it seems like he can't do nothing there at
You
175.
know,
Eventually, you're going.
he's 168. You mean go down to 160?
Yeah, should he go down to 160? Or maybe go up to like double him. I think that would be stupid, but
I think I'd stay right there at 168. Campaign at that. I think that's his natural size. At 168, he looks strong. I think at 160, he may be a little bit malnourished, might not be as strong, may have to be a little dehydrated. I feel like 168, you know, when you look at everybody in the globe, there's billions of people. At 168, he's in the top 10, top 20. So I wouldn't go chasing the bunch. I wouldn't be trying to go to 175. We saw what happened to Canelo. I wouldn't be going down to 160. I feel like, it could work, but I feel like 168 is where he belongs. And, he was number one, and he was the IBF champ at one point. He was the top contender before Saturday night, and he's still probably in the top 5. So I would say stay right there. Everybody can't be Floyd. Everybody can't be Manny and Muhammad Ali. Sometimes you have to be thankful for where you are. So I would say at 168, I would ride out my career right there and just do my best and try to get as much money as I can and show improve. I think he's improving, even though he lost, he's still improving, and he still has more room for improvement.
yeah, me too. And it seems like you're going to be losing to. You already lost to an all-time great in Canelo, and it seemed like as time goes by, you're going to be able to say, "Well, damn, he lost to Benavidez as well." So,
Yes.
any last words before we get on out of here?
Last words, I just want to say thanks to everybody who tapping into the station. Couldn't do it without y'all. I would say we all saw a great fight. That was real good and highly anticipated this weekend. I expected more from Benavidez being the Mexican monster. I expected a little bit more walk down, but as we spoke about Kenny Bayless, I felt he worked around the referee, and despite of Kenny Bayless, still had a great performance. On the Caleb Plant side, I feel like he did everything right. He practiced real hard. He came in real sharp, and he did his best. He lost to Canelo, who was top in boxing, and he lost to somebody who has 23 to 24 knockouts, who's a great fighter. So I wouldn't be too down on myself. I know he was hospitalized. I read some things last night, this morning, that it was more precautionary.
I didn't
Just
know
going,
that.
yeah, just go and be checked out. He said he's fine. He spoke to David Benavidez. They're basically friends now. Beef is gone.
Yeah, I
Nothing
saw
but
that in
nice,
the ring. Yeah, you saw it.
nothing but nice things to say now. Even on the Benavidez side, he was like, he appreciates Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant brought that dog out of him, made him very wary, and made him stay sharp. Like he said, Caleb Plant made him go get abs.
Yeah,
So I would say we saw a great fight. It's one of the fights that we look forward to. Me and you, we've been talking about Spence, Crawford. I would say this was good in between right there. Plus, we still have a lot more coming with Ryan, with Tank Davis. So I would just like to say, congratulations to both of those guys. Congratulations to Caleb Plant, him and his beautiful wife. Still, they gonna grind for a while, and then, for David Benavidez, just keep trying to become that Mexican monster that we all talk about, and we're not gonna rest until we see him in the ring with Canelo, or maybe even talking to us on Sports Fans Only.
yeah, definitely. We definitely want to give both of them a shout out. That was a hell of a fight. They put their lives on the line just for our
Definitely.
entertainment. As I always say, they do it for our entertainment. So we definitely want to say, if you like today's content, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the video. It's okay to leave a comment. We don't bite. Not sure why most of our people that watch our channel aren't subscribed. Seem like a lot of people on YouTube have that issue as well. So for C. Anthony, I've been Sean Mack, and this is Sports Fans Only. Peace.